let's talk about the Golden State Warriors. Steve Kerr came out with a recent statement stating that, the blowout loss to the Clippers is going to be more of the norm. They're going to struggle. And even other analysts that thought the Warriors would be a playoff team just off that one gruesome loss, like Kennedy J. Smith said, he is certain that that team will be a 4 or 5 seed. Then, like a couple minutes later, he said 7 or 8 seed in the West. So, everybody's hitting a nuclear button on the Warriors. And rightfully so after that loss because, it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like they were able to compete due to the amount of younger players that were in the rotation, their lack of defense, and their inability to really score. The score was like 143 to 122, but it didn't really reflect the true nature of the Warriors' state in that game. They were down 30 at one point, like 34, 35 points. But there are some extenuating factors that we have to keep in mind. Warriors bench, they lost Iguodala, they lost Livingston. They lost Kevin Durant in the starting lineup. Of course, he went to Brooklyn. They don't have Klay Thompson. So they're really relying on D'Angelo Russell to take over Klay Thompson's production. And D'Angelo Russell became an all-star last year. So he's just really fitting into his role. Draymond Green offensively is not potent. We all got to just keep it funky there. I believe in 2016, he was on a pace to really win the MVP or whatever the case is for the NBA Finals. But, LeBron and Kyrie overshadowed that and it took over. So, Draymond's just not potent enough offensively. He doesn't shoot the ball well enough. If he had a shot like Chris Bosh, you could say that the Warriors will be in better shape, but he doesn't. You see what I'm saying? That's one thing people can appreciate about Chris Bosh, 2-time NBA champion. He had a shot. He could shoot threes here and there. He could shoot the mid-range consistently. So when people are like, people say that Steph looks human and how he struggles. Anybody would struggle on a team where you only have basically one other offensive threat, and everybody else is not a threat. Everybody's not live to go with the ball. We're so used to seeing the Golden State Warriors with so many threats. From Klay to Steph to Durant to Draymond from time to time. But Draymond, more and more every year, it seems like his offense has taken a back seat. I don't know if he just reduced his game because he had to play with Kevin Durant, but offensively, he's not there. In 2016, it looked like he was about to take a leap, but then they got Durant, and it seemed like everything kind of like regressed back to the mean. But anybody's gonna struggle if you only have one other live threat. It's just a simple fact. You look at the Clippers; they have Kawhi Leonard live, Lou Williams is live, Montrezl Harrell is live. These guys, Lou Williams is off the bench. Montrezl Harrell is off the bench. Shamet is live. He can shoot threes. You have multiple threats that can really consistently give you some buckets. With the Warriors, they don't have that right now. And here's another thing people don't understand. Like 40% of their roster is decimated with injury. If you look, Willie Cauley-Stein didn't play. Klay Thompson didn't play. So these are things that you also got to keep in mind. But, can they make the playoffs? Yes, they possibly can. Does it look like they won't because of this loss? I mean, of course it looks like it won't, because if you really think about it, they just played the team that's supposed to be in the NBA Finals or the Western Conference Finals. It's either the Clippers and the Lakers to come out of the West, in my opinion. That being said, you can't take a loss to the team that's supposed to come out the gate as, a nuclear option to the team. If they're losing 143 to 122 to the Pelicans and the Suns, that's when you say things of the nature that they're it's time to blow it up, forget it this year, whatever the case is. My thing here is this. It seems like the move to San Francisco, the players were reluctant about it. They tried to fight it. That's why they tried to really win a championship. I feel like that's why they even try to push Kevin Durant to come play. They're like thinking like we could come get KD, go in a new building, get him to play. It feels inorganic. It feels like something that was forced. A lot of people aren't even talking about this. It feels like they're alienating their fans in Oakland to it's like a big money grab. And I think that the owners, Joe Lacob, they were preempting to keep Kevin Durant, and they paid for the Chase Center out of their own pocket to use as a tax write-off so they could pay, get the tax money back from the government and pay Kevin Durant and pay all those guys and keep the nucleus together. So I think it was premature in their case to move to the Chase Center. I know this it's been in the works, but what they did is they wanted to cater to those fans that had the higher capacity, and it seems to have backfired a little bit. That building is a state-of-the-art building, but those fans don't have the state of the heart. So state of the art for the building, but state of the heart in terms of being a Dubs fan from from the jump. They don't have that because it's mostly Silicon Valley and New Warriors fans. They used to play in San Francisco. Wilt Chamberlain was there and stuff, but those fans are long gone. They've all gone to glory. So it seems like they try to play their hand, move to San Francisco. They thought they got too cocky. They thought they were keeping Kevin Durant. They thought everything was gonna be peaches and cream, and it didn't. And now this is what they're left with. They're left with a new arena, but it looks like a team that's really gonna struggle. So, anything is possible when you have two-time MVP and Stephen Curry. It's just the other guys they have to bring along. The other guys, they really have to step. Marquise Chris, there's some guys that they really need to try to score, but they just don't have enough offensive firepower other than Steph and D'Lo right now. That's all it is. I think, and this is funny because the players that got drafted, got traded for, this is a golden opportunity. Nice little play on words. Golden opportunity for them to show what they're made of. Point blank period. See what I'm saying? Because the star players, they're gonna do as much as they can. But if they're getting double teamed and stuff like that, this is opportunity for other guys to really step up and show you what they can do, what they can achieve, and just what they're really made of. And think about this. Which before Steph became Steph, he was coming off the bench. He had to show people what he was made of. He had to go through the injury. So you never know. They might have another diamond in the rough there somewhere that could really impact the game at a high level. Lakers are 1-1, and a lot of things people are looking at. When they lost to the Clippers, a lot of people felt like LeBron took a back seat. He was very passive. And even Charles Barkley saying right now Kawhi Leonard in all facets of the game is better than LeBron James. And while I don't think Kawhi Leonard overall is better than James, I think right now Kawhi Leonard, what Charles Barkley said, is valid. Because you can have moments and spurts of times where you're the best at somebody, but somebody kind of overtakes you for a minute. Like a good example is like Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. They're always like 1A, 1B. You know what I'm saying? They're always... Even though Federer might have more tennis, slams, grand slams than he does, then Nadal has beaten him sometimes. So that's what it is. It's just like you could be the best at somebody, but somebody overtakes you for a brief period of time. I feel like this is Kawhi's time to shine, and the reason why a lot of people felt disappointed in LeBron, him saying it's not a rivalry with the Clippers, even though it's the same building. Both of the teams are trying to assert themselves as the best team in the league. Both of the teams have high aspirations to be in the NBA Finals. Both teams are projected to, what analysts might say NBA Finals for one, Western Conference, but they're both headed for a head-on collision. So you can't necessarily say it's not a rivalry or whatever. Even though, Lakers have always been taking over and, have championships, you got to show some kind of respect. Because they've been better. Clippers have been in the playoffs. They just whooped your head or whatever Wednesday night or whatever the case is. So the reason why people are disappointed in LeBron, Steven Jackson said he doesn't have that dog in him or whatever the case is, it's that same energy. LeBron doesn't keep the same energy. When LeBron is whooping up on people and he's the front runner, he's the head dog in charge, he don't keep that same energy, that same vibe, I'm trying to kill you, knock your head off, none of that, whatever the case is. It's only when he feels like there's a perceived window to win, he gives you that alpha, that dog, that, you know what I'm saying, that crazy that crazy mentality. In 2016, when he saw that they suspended Draymond and they won that one game, he felt like, okay, we got a window here. But then you notice 2017, they lost in 5. 2018, they got swept. He just didn't, even though he had great numbers, he didn't have it. He wasn't pushing it. He wasn't stressing the situation. He was just like, hey, it comes, it comes. So with the Jazz, you saw LeBron playing like defense, taking charges, extra, extra motivated. But with the Clippers, even though he went 7 for 19, he could have went like 8 for 25. To honestly, for me, that would be better because then he would look like he was off instead of being passive. And with the Clippers game, he just seemed like too passive. He wasn't. He was trying to force the issue, put the ball in AD's hands, and it's just the same energy. It's the same mental instinct. Like I feel like LeBron, like he gets up for those scrubby teams, and then in the playoffs, he gives you consistency. I'll agree about that, but I feel like if he feels like he knows he's not the favorite or he's not projected to win, he doesn't necessarily give you his all. Like prime example, in 2018, game 1, when he scored 51 points and they lost that game, and everybody's blaming JR, LeBron didn't give you any kind of performance at that high caliber anymore because he felt like all was lost. He's like, we lost game 1. That was the one game I could have won and set the series on fire, but I didn't win it. So right now I'm done. I'm gonna pack it up. I'm gonna get the numbers, but I ain't gonna be going all crazy and doing all this extra stuff. And I just feel like when it comes to certain opponents, he doesn't bring that energy. He just doesn't. I remember Cameron, when he was dissing Nas, and him and Jim Jones were dissing Nas, Cameron was like, what's the matter, Nas? You ain't got that ether for me? And that's what it is with LeBron. Like, he doesn't have that ether for Kawhi right now. Maybe later on down the season he'll have it, but it's just keeping that same energy, keeping that same mentality, keeping that same push, foot on their necks. He just doesn't have it for all opponents. He'll do it to the opponents he knows he could easily dominate, but the ones that are like 1A, 1B, or 2, or a crew, it's like, okay, I'm going to kind of fall back. I'm going to play, but I ain't going to give you the full repertoire because I want it to be known that, this person had a squad, this person had a squad, whatever. Speaking of squads, Los Angeles Clippers, they are a very deep team. This has been something in the making for many years. We started with Doc Rivers, Jerry West. They from top to bottom, they have a nice squad. They made the playoffs without a star player. Now they got 2 stars. And the depth that they have, Kawhi Leonard is only playing like 20, 25 minutes. He's scoring 21, 25 points in 25 minutes. So he's scoring like a point per minute. Like his point per possessions are ridiculous. They're out of this world. But what they're doing, and this is just a cautionary tale for the Clippers, and I guess this is like a lesson for the Clippers as well. Keep that same energy if one of those guys get hurt again. If Kawhi Leonard or Paul George goes down again, all of that trying to pay people back, because they're on a revenge tour. The way that they were going at the Warriors and the way that they're going at the Lakers, and they're just really animated, like extra animated. Like, and Patrick Beverly has always been animated, so I'm gonna keep it a buck with him. He's good. He's fine. When he was telling the Warriors fans, "Where you going?" when they were up like 20 or 30, that's fine with me because he's always been animated. I love it. But all the other guys, y'all need to be very careful because what's going on now is 2 games. You're feeling good or whatever, but it's an 82-game season. You guys lose a couple in a row or somebody gets injured, God forbid. You can't be flexing this early. You can be having fun, but flexing this early, you need to be relaxed. But it's okay because they've been run through the mud, disrespected for many and multiple years. So it's only right that they're on their revenge tour. But while you're on your revenge tour, remember, the same people you tell you to kiss your ass on your way up is going to be the same people that's going to be looking at you on your way down. So just keep that in mind at all times. Hoops Junction, where Hoops meets Hoopla. Like, comment, subscribe.